searching for you. I'm still searching for you. From dirt to the sky, I'm still searching for you. 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 I'm still from dirt to the sky. I'm still searching for you.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
You disgust me.
Who gives a shit?
Go on.
I made it the fuck up.
I did. I did. I did. I did. I did. It's glorious. And I run. Just for fun, 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 just for fun. Just for fun, just for fun.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
Just for fun, 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 just for fun.
Good evening, everybody out there in YouTube land. It is I, your t-shirted historian. Good to see you again.
Hello.
And it's the Ironcaster.
Got spooky in here. It's quiet.
Well, I had hoped that we would be joined by a few others, but I have not heard from Harmony, so I can't get the after-action report on how her game went with Dungeon Delver. I was hoping. And I haven't heard back from Grim, so I don't know. Maybe he went to bed early or something. It's crazy. But with his
Well, I mean, if you do want a post game report, I can tell you about my time running the Transformers role playing game, but that's a little less exciting. I think.
It's probably a little less exciting. It's not too often that you get like two fairly good-sized names and you know, in the game scene hanging out together in the same place and gaming together.
I tried.
I know. And hey, Surly Unicorn, it's good to see you. I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll drop by later. Our dear friend Greg Iries is not doing so well today, but you know, hopefully he'll be okay. He'll be on the mend. Speaking of which, our other friend Ryan David was hospitalized. But if the photograph I saw on Twitter today is any indicator, he's far from Boot Hill. Looks like he's pretty feisty and ready to go. So I'm wishing him luck and that he recovers quickly.
Well, you know what they say. Once the snark stops, then it's time to worry.
Indeed. Well, we got some really cool news today.
Did we now?
Yep. Yes, we did. So apparently, there was an article in Variety today. At 7. Well, it's 7:30 p.m. on my thing, but I'm pretty sure we got that a little. Well, actually, we got it yesterday at 7:30 p.m. But the Amazon Fallout series got a new release date on Prime Video. And this is kind of exciting because we were just talking about this on Saturday. And I've been kind of tentatively excited about it since they first announced it and started showing, trailer footage. But they have moved up the schedule. They're going to premiere all 8 episodes tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. This special release includes a live global fan premiere of the first episode where viewers worldwide can choose their faction and interact with other fans via a live chat function.
I mean, I have to wonder though, like, they're dropping it all at once, which kind of traditionally speaking with every other streamer hasn't necessarily been the best sign.
I mean, it was set to drop all 8 episodes on April 11th, one day earlier than its original April 12th premiere, so it's not too bad. I mean, I'm not sure why they're moving it up so much. Either they want to take advantage of some kind of hype, or they know that everybody's really excited about it, and they figure they can build momentum off of it, or I don't know. But hey, it's a Squeaka! We were just talking about you. Hey, Squeaka.
I mean, well, if nothing else, then I hope that at least the fans are going to be happy with it, because it feels like we got a ton of that for most series. I mean, it seems by and large that the state of like kind of fandom with as far as Hollywood is concerned has just been run through the mud. Like, fandom is something to be not proud of these days.
I don't know. I mean, the show looks pretty good. I'm really excited because Walt Goggins is part of it, and he is a great actor, and apparently he's playing a dual role, or at least a role pre-Fallout and post-Fallout. Post-Fallout being a ghoul, pre-Fallout being a sales guy for Vault Tech or something, it looks like. Which I kind of like that.
I will have to be right back.
Okay, yeah, go take care of your business.
Moment.
I'll talk. Okay, so anyway, I posted on Twitter that I was tentatively kind of enthusiastic about it. Fallout is one of my favorite series. No, I did not get to play the very first one when it first came out. That was a very long time ago. I did get to play the second one, but I never did complete it. Various things kept coming up, including other games that captured my attention, such as Diablo 2, around that same time. Fallout 3 was really where I jumped into the Fallout universe, and for me, it's still my favorite. I mean, a lot of people would probably take umbrage with that, but there's something I really loved about Fallout 3. I loved the strange green tinted landscapes. I liked the really beautiful, lonely Inonzer music. I liked that you didn't necessarily have to quest everywhere. There was more of a free world roaming experience because there were a lot of places that you could explore, like the Corvega factory. You didn't have to go there, but you could. I mean, you could fight the ants there. You could get the treasure that was there, and I don't know. I mean, it was just a fun experience. I can't say it was a perfect experience. It had its issues here and there. But as they kept dropping more DLC for it, it kept kind of getting better and better. With Point Lookout being pretty much everybody's favorite DLC. I'd have to say that was probably mine as well. Maybe Broken Steel, I don't know. But hey, Calvinoni. But yeah, later on, New Vegas came out, and I originally didn't like New Vegas all that much. I thought it was janky. I didn't like the music nearly as well. I didn't like how brown everything was. But it grew on me over time, and I've gotten to where, I like New Vegas the best. Well, second best, because Fallout 3 is just never going to be replaced for me. You can't get that experience back. I guess it's like, eating your first really good plate of food. You're always going to compare that particular plate of food with whatever else you've ever had. Fallout 4 was good. I definitely have put a lot of hours into Fallout 4. I played with the modding system on Fallout 4, and I enjoy it. I still go back and pick it up every once in a while for fun. I mean, yes, I know the story backward and forward, but Fallout 4 obviously wasn't nearly as compelling as the others, because it, you kind of had a named protagonist that had a voice, and I don't know. Even though you could customize your character any way you wanted to, it still felt a little, But I did like the synths, and I liked the storyline for that, but I don't know, something about the way everything looks in Fallout 4, even though it looks better, it looks, I don't know, more plastic, more, I don't know, fake or something than Fallout 3. I know that's weird. Yeah, obviously the power armor in Fallout 4 is just awesome. That's probably the best part of the whole game, is how the power armor system works. But, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it as much as 3 or Vegas. And I have no idea when they're going to bring out another one. But anyway, getting back to the show, a lot of people are complaining about the dialogue. The dialogue is garbage. I have to say that, they're definitely not leading with their best foot forward on that. I'm tentatively excited about it because it's Jonathan Nolan on board, I think it is his name. And he did produce one very, very good season of Westworld, being the first one. So I'm really hoping that, lightning can strike twice, because Westworld definitely dropped off, starting with the second season and got onto what it became. I think at some point Jonathan Nolan just kind of, was just mailing in or rubber stamping everyone else's work, and I don't know, drinking pina coladas out on the deck of his porch or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, just wound up with just so many JJ acolytes in every studio, it seemed.
Oh, God. We were talking about that earlier, and it's kind of segueing off into a different topic, but yeah, J.J. Abrams is the absolute worst thing that has ever happened to Hollywood. Hands down. Hands fucking down. I honestly can't recall a single J.J. Abrams product that I can look back at fondly and say, that was really pretty good. I enjoyed that a lot. There's nothing he has touched, and nothing that his disciples have touched that has been good.
Well, I mean, it seems like just by and large, his whole plan was get attached to an IP, get some hooks into it, and step 2 is question mark. Step 3 is profit. He has the underpants gnome like scheme.
I mean,
the biggest issue in that though is that he doesn't know how to handle these things.
I guess not. I mean, he likens himself to Spielberg, but even Spielberg really isn't Spielberg anymore.
Well, I mean, the only reason he thinks that is because he babysat his kids.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, that's a definite claim to fame, I guess. Jesus.
So that. Did you not know about that?
No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, no, it's basically Steven Spielberg, and basically saw a young J.J. Abrams was like, "Yeah, this guy will totally be a director one day."
Wow. So he got a glowing endorsement from Steven Spielberg, and Hollywood got cancer, which has continued to spread and mutate into the various shades of shit that now grace our screens and have graced our screens for about the last, 24 years? Huh?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking just like 2015, 2016, but no, you go back further. Lost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lost was crap. I mean, let's do the mystery boxes and leave stuff totally unfulfilled. How many times did J.J. Abrams do something and there was no payoff? And it seems like everybody has followed in that same footsteps. How many times have you seen a show where they bring up something in the show or in the movie, and after they solve it once, it never becomes an issue again? There's no payoff. There's no reason for it to have ever been brought forward.
Well, I mean, it was just mystery box. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna sell you on a really cool mystery. It makes you want to know more." But I never said I knew how to actually give you a compelling and satisfying ending.
Well, he sure as fuck didn't do it for the Star Wars series. Although, I'll give JJ his defense on the Star Wars series. He set that first movie up with a lot of questions, and it was supposed to be on the next director to start answering some of those questions, and instead what we got was Rian Johnson just showing up and just saying, I don't give a shit, let's just fucking make the film I want to make. And yeah, I hate that guy. And he just utterly destroyed it, and he destroyed it so thoroughly that there was no saving it. They brought Abrams back to do damage control, and even Abrams was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Why don't we just make the last movie just a bunch of fetch quests and stupid shit that we can't possibly, follow up on?
Well, kind of the nice thing is, well, actually, oddly enough, this kind of ties into a lot of some of the other things we were talking about this week. Just, it seems like everyone is kind of realizing that the modern stuff is not worth watching. Let's go back to the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw this in sort of two aspects. We saw one, sort of Hollywood itself. Like, everyone is watching older shows on streaming because of, just these massive, like, long running franchise that have people watching them. Like, people going back and watching Suits. People want to watch Friends. They want to watch the comfort food shows.
Yeah.
And then you look over to video games, and what's everyone playing?
Yeah, I don't want to segue into that just yet, but too early. But let's continue down this track a little bit, because I've got some stuff on that too. I mean, obviously, I drag out Breaking Bad and watch it at least once a year, because it's like my favorite TV show. It replaced The Sopranos for me, so. That's a pretty high mark. Because I used to watch The Sopranos like once a year. Now I watch Breaking Bad once a year.
I can say I've never seen either.
Dude, you've got to up your game.
Yeah, no, because I kind of spent half the morning like kind of making t-shirt when smack his head into a wall as I unleashed on all the movies I've never seen.
Yeah, I mean, we got into kind of a tangent on the Terminator because we got to talking about that a little bit, and I was like, yeah, obviously T1 and T2 are like pinnacle Terminator for movies.
I agree with half that statement.
Yeah. Terminator 3.
I've only seen number 2.
Terminator 3 was trash. I mean, I watched it and didn't like it the first time, even though everybody was like, oh, it's great. I'm like, no, it's not. It's crap. Terminator 4, I actually liked it. Yes, there was a lot of member berries in it and a lot of homage to the originals. But it was kind of doing its own original thing, and that was kind of cool. And, you know, I liked it. I got to watch it in the theater with my dad, and maybe that was part of the experience that made it so enjoyable, but I thought it was fun. But everybody hated it. And then they came out with Terminator Genesis, which saw that in the theater. Oh, boy.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. And then, yeah, finally I saw that Terminator... No, it was a Dark Fate, whatever. Yeah, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It made Genesis look good by comparison. I mean, and Genesis was a trash fire, man. But at least
Gynesis?
No. Let's not insult women that way. Because honestly, it wasn't woke. Like Dark Fate was.
But is that enough?
Well, okay. Here's the difference between Genesis and Dark Fate. Genesis was stupid. I mean, the commercials gave away the big reveal in the film, which was stupid. But that aside, you know, you had your main character, you know, Kyle Reese was being played by, you know, Jai, whoever, I don't know, some unmemorable guy who, how many films has he actually been in? Anyway, he was a nothing burger. And then they had Daenerys Targaryen, whatever her name is, playing Sarah Connor. She was okay. She brought a little bit of levity to the show. And Arnold, you know, he was old, but he looked like he was still kind of having fun with it. And that's the thing about Genesis. It was kind of stupid fun. It wasn't taking itself seriously. They knew they had kind of a shit movie, but they were going to have fun with it. They had, they gave you some big explosions, some dumb effects, a lot of action and stuff like that, but it didn't really take itself seriously. It gave a lot of member berries and a lot of fan service, and that's okay.
But do you think maybe the issue is we're too tied to those characters for these franchises to be able to go forward?
We'll examine that in a second. Because I do want to talk about that. And then we got to Dark Fate, and that ties kind of into what you're saying. Okay, look at what they did for Dark Fate. They brought Arnold back as the Terminator who murders John Connor at the beginning of the film. Wow. And they brought Linda Hamilton back to play Sarah Connor. And what upset me about this is, okay, they have a new future leader, and they no longer have Skynet. They have a new thing, which I don't remember what it's called, because it was not memorable at all. And apparently they have, a Mexican Terminator, which is supposed to make me feel better, I guess.
You too can feel represented by evil killer robots.
That's right. Because, I'm a male, Hispanic, and, and the new leader of the resistance is a female Hispanic, so I'm not good enough. But that aside, they had some compelling characters that they never went anywhere with, because they had, the female cyborg, supermodel chick who at first you could kind of say, oh, I don't believe that she can do that. But then you find out, oh, well, she's a cyborg. So she's probably got some enhancements and stuff that can make her able to be go toe to toe with the Terminator to some extent. But they killed her off, so it was kind of like, okay, well. But what made me sad was Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, because she was obviously putting 110% into it, and the entire time in the film, she just comes off as this huge asshole, and all the time is basically being treated by the main characters like, get out of the way, old lady. You're just in the way. You're just annoying. You're not contributing anything to this mission. And that made me sad because they basically destroyed her character. And it's a female character. So to me, it felt like, okay, so you're cannibalizing your own characters, even though it's a female character that everybody looked up to from Terminator 2. And obviously, bringing Arnie back as Terminator, man, he looked tired. He looked very, very tired in that movie, and he just kind of looked like, I really didn't want to do another one, but, it costs a lot of money to run my house, and I have lots of alimony payments and things, so let's do another Terminator movie.
The hammer's not going to pay for itself.
Yeah. Plus, I have a little horse that comes into my kitchen. So, those things are expensive. Whatever.
Well, he probably had to pay off that person he hit with his Hummer.
I guess. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, it was sad that Dark Fate was as bad as it was. And the fact that it cannibalized its own legacy characters. Good ones. So when they go forward with other movies and they destroy their legacy characters, such as Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, where they pretty much treat Indiana Jones like he is a has-been, used up, getting in the way old man who can contribute nothing to the story, I'm kind of like, yeah. So apparently the future is female, but not only is it female, it is also ageist.
Well, real quick on the subject of Terminator, it seems like the one place they could go that they haven't done yet is to basically pull it Back to the Future 3. To go further back in time.
I mean, these days, that's probably what they would do, because they would be trying to capture the, the essence, thinking, oh, well, everybody loves the 80s. Why don't we just, let everything go back to the 80s and do everything from the 80s?
Well, I mean, really, the thing is, they've done everything else. They've tried to, alter the future. We got that with Dark Fate. We've tried to actually see the actual event that happened with T3. We've seen the actual war itself against Skynet. We've seen all these other things. The only thing we haven't done is go further back in the past. Don't kill Sarah Connors. Go after her father. Why? I mean, if the whole thing is to prevent her from birthing John Connor, then why not just prevent her from being born in the first place? Is there any logical reason why we haven't gone to that extent yet?
I'm sure that would have been explored in the Sarah Connor Chronicles if the show had been allowed to continue past 2 seasons. And I'll give that show some props. Yes, it was kind of stupid because it was kind of like Terminator of the Week every week, and the new Terminator shows up. And it eventually got to the point where there are more people from the future being transported to the past than there are actual living people in the future. Because it's like you turn around and every time they introduce a new character, I'm from the future. But that aside, you had some really good performances. You had some really compelling acting and some interesting hooks and stuff. And they left the damn show on a cliffhanger, which annoyed me. And I guess we'll never see that.
Well, I mean, have they done multiple Terminators gone back yet?
What do you mean, like at the same time?
Yeah.
Like as in like, 2 or 3 Terminators trying to go after John Connor at the same time?
Yeah.
No, although Dark Fate was about as close as they got because they had, the Terminator that could split into 2 for reasons.
Because, is there any reason why the question of why didn't they send back multiple why that's never come up?
I don't know. I guess they only had one set of time displacement equipment and they could only send them back one at a time. Although apparently, according to Sarah Chronicles, it's like apparently they were using the shit out of this machine because they were sending back tons and tons and tons of Terminators.
The Terminator was on the grassy knoll.
I don't know. Some of those plots got kind of creative, though. They had one Terminator who went so far back in the past. Basically, he was a mobster, or he passed himself off as a mobster and, earned all this money and had a building built and literally had himself housed in one of the walls and just kind of stayed there in suspension, waiting for the day that John Connor would pop in and bust out of the wall and try to kill him. I shit you not, that was like literally one of the plots of the show. And it sounds stupid, but it was kind of creative. If you were already that far invested in the show, it went without saying. It's kind of like, yeah, you were pretty much tuning in for Terminator of the Week. So, and while we're talking legacy characters, this brings me to another legacy character that has been brought up recently.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, Furiosa. Furiosa is coming.
No.
Yeah. We got to talk about it. Obviously, I am a huge Mad Max fan. The Road Warrior is pretty much like one of my go-to favorite films of all time. Thunderdome was also pretty magnificent. Even the original Mad Max has its moments. And then we got Fury Road, which was a bait and switch because it was not a Mad Max movie. It was a movie about a woman, and Mad Max just happened to be in it. So people are like, now the new Furiosa movie is coming out, and it is a prequel to Fury Road. It's talking about how Furiosa grew up and all this other stuff. And people are like, does anyone need this? Does anybody want this? And I'm like, every time he's done a film, it's been pretty exciting and pretty fun, even if you don't like the way the plot went. And at least in this one, they're not bait and switching you. Okay, there's no pretense to it. Mad Max is not going to be in this.
But that's the question. That's the thing, though. Why would I want to watch a Mad Max movie without Mad Max in it?
Because maybe you like the action, you like the director, you like the setting. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not trying to say, oh, it's going to be great. I'm willing to give it a shot and see if it's any good. I don't kid myself and tell me, oh, this is going to be the best film I've ever seen. But at least I'm not going into it with Mad Max goggles on, because I know that Mad Max is not going to be in it.
But if I want knockoff Mad Max, how many Mad Max exploitation movies did we get out of like the 80s and 90s?
Well, a ton of them.
Exactly. How many of those have you still not seen yet?
I'll have you know, I have all the Italian ones on my shelf, and pretty much all the Italian ones. And I've seen most of the American ones. You got to remember, I grew up with 80s cable TV, so I saw all of them. The Bronx Warrior, Warriors from the year There's Eliminators or Exterminators from the Year 3000. All those films. I saw all of them. Yes, they were not good, but they were fun in their own way. I mean, yeah, you tuned in. You were not expecting it to be brilliant. You were just expecting action and maybe some corny dialogue and some gratuitous, titties.
All right, so let me pull this up just a quick little reference so we see, just not that we're gonna go down this entire thing or anything, but just let's see if there's any here you don't know.
Okay, I got to correct you, Dungeon Delver. Yul Brynner was not in Bronx Warrior. You are thinking about The Warrior, directed by Fred Weintraub. Was it Weintraub? Was it Robert Klaus? Robert Klaus directed The Warrior, starring Yul Brynner. And I remember that movie. It was before Mad Max, so it was just one of those post-apocalyptic films from, I guess, the 70s or early 80s. And it was pretty cool. I think I've got it somewhere. Yeah, Cyborg, early Van Damme. Yeah. Cyborg was originally supposed to be the Masters of the Universe sequel.
Was it? Oh, yes. Yeah. Huh.
Okay, Steel Dawn, I have it. I've seen it. 1990, The Bronx Warriors, I have it. I've seen it. Escape from the Bronx, I have it. I've seen it. Battle Truck, I've seen it. I don't own it. 2012, After the Fall of New York, have it. I've seen it. Warriors of the Year 2072, I may have seen it. I don't remember. I can't even read the next one. It doesn't look familiar. What is it?
Voodoo Mountain?
I don't know that one.
Let me see if
Metal.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I'll pull this up. Warriors of the Apocalypse.
Nah, I don't know this one.
But anyway.
Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jared Sin. Yes, I have seen that. I need to get that. Rage. I don't know that one. Equalizer 2000. I think I have seen that a long time ago. 2020 Texas Gladiators. I saw bits and pieces of it, but it was a shit movie.
See, I would have assumed you would have seen it purely because it has Texas in the name.
I saw it as a kid, and it wasn't great. Rats, I own.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Exterminators of the Year 3000, I have it. Hell Comes to Frogtown, I have it. Frogtown 2, I haven't seen.
I think there's even a third one in there too. But anyway, like I said, there's a couple in here in this list you haven't seen yet that you might be better spent watching instead of trying to watch Furiosa.
No, I doubt it.
In which we're gonna likely be more entertained by Thor Boy than Furiosa herself.
I suspect that's going to be true. I have a feeling Chris Hemsworth is going to end up stealing the show.
He's going to carry the movie right up until his death.
Yeah. I've seen Rollerblade back when I was a kid. It was terrible, but it had a great cover. Rotor, I've seen. It was terrible.
Oh, there's one you've never seen before.
The New Barbarians, I've seen it. Megaforce was awesome, but it wasn't really post-apocalypse. And no, I've never seen Fist of the North Star. No, never. Or the live-action sequel. No, I've never seen those. I just own them both. I think I've seen America 3000 a long, long time ago.
But I think it's a good little sample, though. I mean, there's only about half this list so far, but yeah, this keeps going on for a ways. But
yeah, Neon City, I own that one.
I figure this would be a good little test to see just how extensive your Mad Max boner goes.
Oh yeah, it's not the deepest because obviously I haven't seen everything on this list, but I'm in pretty deep, man. No complaints.
I mean, I've probably seen 1 in 10 or 15 of these. So like, I've seen. There's a lot of them I haven't seen, but I've seen a few.
I've never seen Ravagers starring Richard Harris, as far as I know, Delver. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happened with legacy films, legacy characters. Hollywood is still churning out sequels of sequels. In fact, we were just talking about Abrams, and today I got the news that apparently Abrams is working on a new Back to the Future remake starring Timothy Chalamet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I mean, the unfortunate thing is, I thought he was all right. I liked him in Wonka. I think he did a pretty good job there. So I figured if he just kind of stayed to that and sort of teen heartthrob thing and just kind of kept in that lane, he'd be golden. Like, he could just kind of keep riding that for the next maybe 5-7 years.
Well, and see, here's the thing. They've got him in Marty McFly's outfit, but I'm kind of like, why would they do that? Are they going to try to reset the film back in the 80s and then go back to the past? Or are they going to try to do it present day and then go back to the past, which actually makes more sense? I don't know. But either way, it's J.J. Abrams, man. I mean, you know, it's going to be a derivative piece of shit.
Oh, nobody better call him chicken.
Yeah, they'll probably explain why he, has a phobia about chickens or hates being called a chicken or something in this one. I don't know.
Oh, actually, since this is a movie I don't ever get to talk about a lot, can I go ahead and make a confession here?
Okay.
I don't like the original Back to the Future.
Well, okay, so Ironcaster can't be on the show anymore. He's finally broken his last straw with me. Not liking the original Back to the Future is pretty much grounds for dismissal from the Week in Geek. So sorry about that, guys. Look, the audience is calling for your blood.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Look, tell you what. You can kick me if they pay you. How about that?
Okay.
Let's if they want me banned so much, let's see them put their money where their mouth is. That's all I'm saying. And then you can send me to Detroit.
Okay. Take him to Detroit. Hey, I've got that one all ready for you, by the way.
No.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact,
No, I don't know. It's just
let's preview that one.
It got played so much when I was growing up, and I got sick of it. Like, there's some 80s staples I like, but if I never see Back to the Future again, it'll be too soon.
And as for my American friend, the CIA thinks it can infiltrate the mountain of Dr. Crud. You can't scare me, you slant-eyed yellow bastard. Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
I would rather go to Detroit than watch Back to the Future.
Oh, but would you rather go to Detroit instead of watching Back to the Future by J.J. Abrams?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which is worse, watching Back to the Future or watching a J.J. Abrams Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you start stacking up the dividends there, it kind of becomes clear which one's actually worse. Yeah, I agree, Surly. Tom Hardy's Mad Max was so underutilized and so... I mean, it was not a Mad Max film. It just wasn't a Mad Max film. Oh, not just Detroit, OCP Detroit. Ooh. I'll have to get a RoboCop clip.
You know, I think one of these weekends I might have to go make a trip to find the statue.
Which one?
The RoboCop statue.
They got a RoboCop statue in Detroit?
Yes. Yeah, that was like one of the first big Kickstarters that ever really made that help put that website on the map.
Okay, so audience, if Ironcaster's going to do this, we need to start raising money now to get him a bulletproof vest so he can make this quest if he's going to go into Detroit and find the statue because it's Detroit.
Oh, wait. Oh, so I think it's not even on display yet, actually. Here,
Oh.
let me pull up this.
Why it's taking so long? Oh, okay. So we have some time to get money together to get you a bulletproof vest.
There we go.
It's pretty big.
There we go. Look at that thing.
And you know, they didn't even shoot that in Detroit. They shot that in Dallas.
Yeah, but much like the Crow, it's become like an icon of Detroit.
True. I don't know if they even shot. I don't know if they shot the Crow in Detroit either. But. It makes me wonder about the new Crow. Are they going to shoot it in Detroit? Or
I don't even think they'll even reference Detroit. I think they'll just kind of keep it kind of vague.
Yeah,
or
probably
just like relocate them.
I don't know. I'm not excited about that one, and that's another legacy movie remake. Yes, unfortunately, Jesse, it is Eric Draven, and I think that is what most of us take umbrage with, is the fact that it is a retelling of the Shelley Webster Eric Draven story. If it was a completely new character, I don't think any of us would have a problem with a new Crow movie. But the fact that they're trying to basically retread and run over the original, Brandon Lee, James O'Barr story, I think is absolutely shameful. And yeah, me too, buddy. Me too. Yeah, I agree. It is definitely spitting in Brandon Lee's face. I don't know, Just a Passerby. I'm kind of willing to bet that there is a lot of green screen in the new film if the trailer is anything to be believed. It sure looks like it. But yeah, I don't think anybody would be upset if they had, made a film about a brand new Crow. Instead, they had to take Eric Draven and butcher that. And everybody's upset. But you can't expect Hollywood to honor anything. So.
No, I'm reading through this article now, and I'm finding out a little bit more about what's going on with the statue.
Yeah, you're getting pretty zogged into that.
Yeah, sorry. It's just like, hey, so apparently Amazon has to sign off on some stuff, and they have to it's going to cost like tens of thousands of dollars just to move the freaking thing.
Well, yeah, because it's made out of bronze and it's big and heavy. You can't just have some dude with a forklift come out there and move it.
I mean, look, if Philadelphia can have a Rocky statue, why can't Detroit have RoboCop?
I wonder how long until it gets vandalized.
I mean, until then, I could always go to the Alfred E. Newman statue.
But, yeah. But it's not all doom and gloom today, at least. I did get one tiny, shiny little piece of cinema history. One very, very small one that most people probably won't care as much about as I will. But I'm still going to show it off anyway, because my show. This is the original King Kong. Not the old, black and white one, but this is the color one by Dino De Laurentiis.
The 78 one?
Yeah. This was the very first King Kong movie I ever saw. This is the one I grew up watching. And, I mean, it wasn't the best King Kong movie. It had problems. But for what it's worth, for me, it's a piece of, cinema nostalgia. And I got it on Steelbook and all that. Hadn't even really opened it, but I had to get it just because, King Kong is... I know this is going to piss people off, but I actually like King Kong better than Godzilla. I mean...
Well,
King Kong,
there's also sort of that sort of attitude of he's kind of the American icon in a way.
He is. And he's also kind of a little bit more human-friendly, human-centric, I guess, because, whereas, they went to King Kong's island where he was the king of his world and pulled him into our world and got him killed. He still has a better relationship with humans than Godzilla, because it's like Godzilla alternately is the bad guy or is the good guy, depending on which movie you watch. You just can't trust Godzilla. But yeah, Surly Unicorn. It had Jessica Lange. I think she was only 18 when she was in that movie, by the way. We didn't quite get a nude scene in that from her, but considering the waterfall shower scene that we did get, pretty much you got the best wet t-shirt display on cinema history. So, hey, Disney Sheepherder, yeah, everybody streaming at the same time. I noticed my audience is a little low today too. Yeah, it did get kind of steamy between her and Kong, and I'm just kind of like, I'm not sure how that would have worked out. I mean, but yeah, it was what it was. I'm not gonna lie. The extended 3-hour cut of Peter Jackson's King Kong, the 3.5-hour one, is my favorite King Kong of all time. I saw it in the I saw the original in the theaters, but then I saw the extended cut and loved it even more. But I think I think my favorite part of my favorite thing that came out of that was that whole the recreation of the insect pit scene. I love the whole thing. I loved every bit of that movie.
By which I mean, Peter Jackson went and recreated the original 1931 insect pit scene.
Yeah.
That's been kind of long. That's been long missing, and so he went and recreated with the styles of what would have been done back then in the 30s, as well as all the stop motion. It's an amazing sequence. You can find it up on YouTube.
Yep,
I recommend it strongly to anyone who has not seen this out there.
Oh yeah, I wish it had gotten more play. I wish it had made more money. And I'll be honest, one of my favorite scenes in that film, and the one that still kind of makes me choke up, is the ice rink scene between her and Kong, because it was such an innocent scene where they're just playing and having a good time, and you forget that he's basically a big fugitive in New York, and they're in danger. It's just for a very short time there. It's really just kind of playful, and it sort of changes the mood of the whole thing. And it really makes the way the ending comes down hammer home even harder. And I mean, it still makes me cry. So, but yeah, that Peter Jackson King Kong is always going to be my favorite, but this one is the one I first saw when I was a kid. So this is the one I grew up with. And, I had to get it to put it on my shelf next to my other ones.
You mean you didn't like the giant robot monkey?
I have that one. King Kong Escapes. Oh yeah. Saw that when I was a kid too. I didn't understand why King Kong looked so different. Also, King Kong versus Godzilla. I didn't understand why Kong looks so different because you're a kid and you're kind of like, why doesn't Kong look the same as he did in this film? I didn't understand that they were shot at different times and different production companies. You're a kid, you don't understand these things.
Yeah. But then it's kind of fun to get to look at it. You're like, well, this is done differently. But then before you know it, you might wind up liking little things about the next version you see better than the first one, even though the first one might hold a special place in your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, nothing's going to beat Peter Jackson's King Kong, but I really liked Kong Skull Island a lot. I thought that was great. If I had to rate King Kong movies just by themselves, Peter Jackson's King Kong, very closely followed by the original black and white one. And then probably Kong Skull Island, and then the 78 King Kong. And then probably, King Kong Escapes, and I don't know if you can really call King Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong or any of those other shows worthwhile, but
even then, there were also like some of the non-Kong ripoffs, like Mighty Joe Young or Rampage.
I saw Rampage in the theater. It was fun. I didn't see Mighty Joe Young.
Speaking of Kong, did you ever play through that King Kong module that Gary wrote before he was ousted from TSR?
I didn't play it. I think I've heard of it, but I never actually got to see it, I don't think. I bet Dungeon Delver knows about it for sure, because he's very wise to all the old stuff. Speaking of which, since we're talking about old stuff, I got a bit of news today that I did not realize. Apparently, Goodman Games has lost the license to reprint all of the original D&D modules. Keep on the Borderlands, Castle Amber, Isle of Dread, Expedition to Barrier Peaks, Lost City, Temple of Elemental Evil. All those classics that have been reprinted and modified and for 5th edition. Those are going to be highly sought after collector's items now because they're not making any more. And the eBay scalpers are already gathering and starting to jack up the prices on them. I'm very fortunate. The only one that I was missing that I wanted was Keep on the Borderlands. I did manage to find it at a reasonable price, so I snagged it as soon as I could. So the only thing that's going to be missing from my collection is going to be Castle Amber and Isle of Dread, which that's unfortunate, but honestly, I didn't really care for Isle of Dread. And Castle Amber, I guess I'll just have to, forego it. But I do have Lost City.
You have to play through the original?
Yeah, I do have the original around here somewhere, and the original Isle of Dread. But, what was cool about those original classics was they reprinted the old module completely, and then, of course, they would add on a new, fairly significant chunk of new material for 5e. But when I ran Axe as a test, I got out my original Arcana Unearthed, the Goodman Games version of Lost City, and I used the original module that was in it, not the 5e one, in order to play test Axe. So,
didn't they also do? I think I also have. There's a Temple of the Devil Lich.
That is a different game. That is Goodman Games. And it is a super duper high level adventure, but it is not an original. It is it's a Goodman Games production.
Okay, see, I think I didn't quite realize that when I went and backed that in the first place.
Yeah, it's not a classic. It's one that they created. It's a good one though. I like Temple of the Devil Lich. I have the PDF. I don't have the physical copy. But
well, see, the thing is, it's one I gotta get myself to run. That's just the only thing I haven't done yet.
They have also produced Janelle Jacquet's back when she was writing as Paul Jacquet's. What was it? Damn it. The Dark Tower. That's on a 3-book format. They're about to do a paperback. But yeah, it's a 3-volume format. It's like $120 something bucks. But that's an original classic. And in October, they're going to be doing Jacquet's Caverns of Thracia. They're also going to be doing some Grimtooth books, which I know they're classics. And of course, a lot of my friends used to buy the Grimtooth books back when we were kids and used to salivate over the traps and thinking of the different ways that they could, murder players with them. But honestly, I don't. I kind of find the Grimtooth books to be not worth it. I mean, why do you need a book of traps?
See, I think that's the interesting thing. I think it comes from that mentality of wanting to always be prepared, to always have that little trick up your sleeve, to just not have to necessarily plan out a bunch of traps, but you always have this little list of stuff that's already kind of made up. You can always pull from if you want to have a last minute trap.
Well, that's the thing. When I started playing D&D, I was a killer DM. Because I was young, I was inexperienced, and I didn't really know what the proper method for playing D&D was. My experience for D&D was basically like Tunnels of Doom, which is, people go into dungeons and they get murdered, and it's the GM's job to make sure they get murdered. It wasn't until I started getting into the fighting fantasy books that I started figuring out, hey, there's actual story elements to these things, and it's actually kind of fun when you succeed. And that got me kind of on the path of, doing gaming a little bit differently. But it also didn't help that the very first module I ever bought or saw was the Tomb of Horrors, which, yeah.
Need we say anything more?
Yeah.
But speaking of old things, I think we have at least one last story to try to hit on.
Sure.
Would you mind?
Would I mind? We talking about Grums?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let me show that off then.
I've got like 30 tabs open, so I gotta find what I'm looking for.
Okay. So this was posted up on Twitter, obviously, or X, whatever you want to call it. Grums says 60% of gameplay time was spent on games 6 years or older in 2023. Older TV shows dominate streaming networks as well, and this is not a coincidence, as streaming has prioritized wokeness over quality, and AAA have also prioritized profit and the narrative over fun. This is why we fight. Nobody wants to play the new stuff if it means being preached at and scolded while they destroy our most memorable IPs and characters. And it's true.
Yeah, this was kind of what I was hitting on earlier, but no, it's absolutely right. The majority of games that everyone's been talking about lately, it's especially with like the modern gaming, like it's not these big AAA budget titles. Like nobody gives a shit about freaking Suicide Squad outside of like the Rage discussion. At its peak right now, it's getting like maybe 2,000 players across all platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I look at my own purchases over the last year. Yes, I did buy some new stuff. I did buy Starfield, and I have been disappointed with it because it's extremely boring. It's extremely slow. I got more excited over Freestar's The Urquan Masters, which was basically Star Control 2, which is a game that is, 20-something years old? I got excited over Soul Cresta, which is basically a hyper-advanced, updated version of an old arcade shooter. And there are lots of titles that emulate old styles of gameplay. I mean, how many Metroidvanias have I picked up? I picked up Wizardry. That's an oldie, for sure. And I keep going back to Cyberpunk, which at this point is kind of an oldie. Because it's 2024 when it was released? 2020?
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, so it's almost 4 years old. That kind of makes it an oldie in game terms.
I mean, you look at the best the games that are getting the most stream time right now, like that people are watching on Twitch, on YouTube, on name your platform. It's what? Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox. These are exactly new titles. Like, there's more people still playing RuneScape. Yeah, there is that. Dragon's Dogma 2 is getting some play, but that's because it's the newest and most interesting game out there. I don't know how soon that's going to die down. I myself have been playing 7 Days to Die for the last few days, and before that, I played a little bit of Tekken 8 so I could try out Eddie Gordo, who just dropped for the game. And before that, I was playing Elden Ring for the last few weeks, which that's been out for almost 3 years. Well, you get to have a T-shirt for 1 week. Because because after that week, Final Fantasy 14 has its new expansion, and that's what I've been playing the last few weeks.
Yeah, that's an oldie.
Yeah, it's 10 years old now.
Funny thing is, I did try World of Warcraft during the Dragonflight expansion just to get back into it, and I don't know, man. It feels samey.
I mean, from the little bits that I saw quite a bit of like Guild Wars 2 baked into it.
Yeah. And then there's supposed to be a brand new one that nobody's very excited about.
I mean, can you really blame anyone for not being too excited? Like, the game has been going on for so long, and what are they really doing to shake it up? They can't do things too much because then everyone's upset.
Mm-hmm. And I grew up on World of Warcraft for the most part because it's kind of like I played it from the very first day it dropped, off and on year after year, for stretches at a time. And I've enjoyed the content. A lot of people
I never jumped into a WoW, like up until Legion. That was where I first jumped in.
Which is a good place to start because Legion was, a lot of people consider that to be peak WoW. Or no, is it not Legion? It was the second expansion. The second expansion was the big one.
No, I'm talking like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was okay. Legion was basically Blizzard going, in case of lack of players, break glass and pull out, our old character.
But demons.
Yeah. Yeah, that was okay. That was actually a decent expansion. The only problem is everything that you work towards and everything that you gained is immediately undone by the next expansion. And I think that is what makes me so angry about World of Warcraft, is the fact that you your character grinds and builds up some very cool weapons. And at some points, having to build legendary items and stuff, like especially in Legion, and, saves the world and all this other stuff. And then in the very next expansion, oh yeah, all that gear that you had and you grinded and all that, that's crap. The starter gear that you get for the new expansion is so much better. Oh, and also you are a peon again compared to everybody else.
Is there any? Are you okay? So I haven't really done it in a while. So, was there any ability or reason to go back and grind the older legendaries, even for like the skins, or was that all just tossed in the trash?
No, that's the way that they have it structured now. Yeah, doing legacy content is not worth it. The only reason you're doing legacy content is to grind up levels so that you can get to newest content. And if you don't want to do that, you can pay them like, I don't know, $50 and they will give you an immediate, level boost to whatever the starting level of the newest expansion is.
Because I'm coming from a place where for about a good decade, I played Guild Wars 2 religiously. So for me, it was basically Fashion Wars. Everything was done to unlock the skin, so you could like go do the customization. Final Fantasy 14, because it was just fun to do, and then you could also then have that for the fashion, because the fashion was the true end game content, and all that old stuff was still available.
Yeah. It used to be, that it was kind of fun to go back and grind out all the old story, because the old stories in World of Warcraft were really good. Like, Wrath of the Lich King. I'm a lot of people will disagree with me on this, but Wrath of the Lich King was my favorite World of Warcraft expansion. And the ending to it was so epic. But,
that was sort of one thing that I was always kind of unsure of with World of Warcraft, was because I was one of these rare players who, up to that point, hadn't played through anything before. So I was looking at it like, well, I want to play through all the story to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And there just really wasn't any ability to know all this stuff. So like the stuff about the Burning Legion, I had no clue. I'm like, oh, cool. There's like some kind of cool like tiefling people that are from a moon.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so out of the loop.
Yeah, one of the only reasons to go back and grind legacy content is for mounts. If you want special mounts, or if you want certain weapon skins for drip, basically for fashions concepts. But that's pretty much it. If you're not grinding pets, or you're grinding for mounts or something, then there's no reason to do legacy content. I mean, and if you're that bored, it's kind of like, why are you playing?
And then that was where they went, and as I understood it, they just kept putting in little treadmills of stuff to keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have to keep up with this stuff just to be able to maintain where you're at.
Yeah. And I think I started to see that the worst in Pandaria. The Pandaria expansion, which is also one of my favorites. I know a lot of people hated that one, but I really liked how fun and original and how different it was. A lot of people hated it, but a lot of my friends and I, when we played, it was kind of like you're grinding out dailies every single day so that you can get the latest, weapons and stuff, so you can challenge these better dungeons and be better equipped and all that. And then as soon as they drop a new, in-game expansion, your old stuff immediately becomes useless again, and you're having to grind up brand new crap to get into the new areas and survive. And it's just a never-ending cycle. I mean, it's like, I think WoW just really caters to a certain kind of player at this point. I mean, and that's people who, don't really have a life and don't really have real friends. They only have online friends, or maybe they're just doing it for their guild or whatever.
What do you think the age of the average WoW players at this point?
They're probably all my age. They're probably in their 50s or their upper 40s.
Because that's a concern. Like, is there on? Well, they would be concerned if not for the fact that Microsoft can pay the bills.
Yeah, for now. But that's the thing. It's like, even players as old as I am and stuff will lose interest over time. And okay, actually, I'll give you an example of a peak WoW player at the time. There was a guy whose YouTube channel I used to tune into constantly because he had WoW news and WoW updates all the time and comments about WoW. And I would tune into this guy religiously. I'd watch his old content, his new content, everything in order to absorb as much as I could about WoW while I was playing WoW.
Was he also British?
He was also British.
I think I might know where this is going. Has he gone to any secret zones?
Well, yes. Yes. I am talking about Az from Heel versus Babyface. Because he was a WoW guy at first. That's where he started. That's where I got to know him from. And, I've been a fan of his for that long. But obviously he gave all that up. And the funny thing is, it kind of took one particular incident for us all to kind of bail on WoW. And that was the banning of Blitz Chung.
That did it for me too, actually.
Yeah, because once they turned on their fans, on their champion, that one time, a lot of us, swore we weren't going to play or pay for the length of his ban. Well, the 6 months, yeah.
I was in a WoW Classics server with like the Short Fat Otaku's that Discord server, and I was going into a fresh. I'm like, that was the perfect chance for me to go in and kind of get to experience like the original WoW and kind of see what that was like. Mm-hmm. It was fun. Kind of run around the areas with like the
Tauren.
Yes, thank you, the Tauren. And then that happened. We're all like, "Yeah, we're just gonna we're disbanding this. We're disbanding the guild."
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go back. I have not gone back. The only thing I've really done since then with Blizzard was I think I bought Diablo 3 one time.
Yeah, I was so excited for Diablo 3 when it came out. I was so excited, and I don't think I've ever felt as let down.
I'm talking about when it like came out on the Switch. Like they got me with the Link thing, with like the Ganondorf skin. I was like, okay, this sounds pretty fun. Me and some buddies were gonna sit down and play it, and then we just sort of never did.
I was one of the people who actually went out to my local store, stood in line at midnight, and bought a copy of Diablo 3, the big white box. I mean, literally sitting up on my shelf. I have the Diablo head with the memory stick embedded in its skull, the soul shard, that has the Diablo 2 game on it.
Oh, wait a minute. I've got one little fun item. Let me go grab this real quick.
Okay. I kind of wonder if that thing is worth anything now. Probably not. I mean, most people I think are pretty well tired of Diablo 3, and I don't think anybody wants to buy a legacy copy of Diablo 2. Not when they can buy the brand new super duper graphics enhanced Diablo 2 directly from Blizzard. I don't know. I can safely say that I did not get excited about the brand new Assassin's Creed Mirage. I didn't bother to buy it. I had absolutely no interest in the setting whatsoever.
Okay, so around the time, like I think it was like the original Overwatch came out, I was starting to get into a lot of the Warcraft stuff, or to a lot of the Blizzard stuff.
Mhm.
I remember pre-ordering the original Warcraft because I kind of bought into the hype and playing all that stuff. The Zarya trailer was the thing that, oddly enough, I remember really remembering.
Mhm.
And so when BlizzCon came around, I was like, yeah, what the heck? I'll pick up on this. And then I got the nice collector's edition that had like a set of like Diablo dice.
Oh, wow.
But also,
Oh, cool.
got my little...
Yeah. Do you ever actually use it?
Not as much. I need to one of these days, but still, I have a beer stein now.
Yeah. Use it on stream or something if you want. Well, no, it's got Blizzard all over it. Maybe not.
You know what? I paid for this thing, and I'm not gonna like. It'd be one thing like a Watsy Stein. I wouldn't use because I don't want to give them that support. But Blizzard has done enough to destroy their own reputation that I might as well put some drinks most foul in this thing and try to at least enjoy it.
You know what? That should be a feature of your channel. You should have a whole, like for this much money, I will, mix these things together and try to drink them out of this Blizzard Stein. You might regret it though.
Trying to turn me into King Cobra.
I recognize that reference.
I don't like where this is going. T-shirt.
Well,
I don't want to drink mustard soda with squid.
Ew. Yeah, no.
How about we meet halfway and I go get a Jones soda.
Yeah, or you could get the dog drool soda or one of those funky ones.
Oh wait, I have a Jones soda here.
Oh, which one?
Chocolate orange.
That doesn't sound horrible.
How about we save it for Saturday?
Yeah. Okay. And definitely, that's one thing we're going to be talking about on Saturday because, with Fallout dropping tomorrow, I am certainly going to get started watching it. I don't know that I'll be able to watch all 8 episodes in one night because, I work. But, between tomorrow and Saturday, I am going to watch all 8 episodes so that we can talk about it on Saturday. I hope the rest of our crew does as well, because I know I'm not the only one who's actually excited about it. I think Grim is actually kind of curious about it. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
I'll check out the first episode, and I'll at least do that much.
Yeah.
I'll give it a chance. I'm not gonna promise you the entire series.
Maybe it'll hook you and you'll want to watch it all.
I mean, maybe.
There's
always
hope.
Possible.
There's hope. I'm hoping it's good. I really am. I mean, okay. I know we said a lot of negative stuff tonight. We really have. But again, we're geeks. We're passionate about the things that we like. We want to love these IPs that we enjoy. We want to love Fallout. We want to love Lord of the Rings. We want to love the comic books. We want to love the Marvel stuff. We want to love all of these things because they're things that we care about. They're things that we value on some level. And that's what makes us rage so hard, is the fact that, we see all these things being destroyed or otherwise mutilated, mauled, and not shown the proper respect by the people who are the caretakers and custodians of the IPs now. And it's infuriating.
And then for everything else, there's, of course, yet another Star Wars game.
Oh, God. Yeah, the protagonist in that looks like the dude from the Warriors.
Well, the other shocking part was just the all the optional like add-on levels.
Well, SBI has already gotten its claws into that one, so it's a no from me. I'm sorry. I don't need to spend that kind of money to be preached at. I mean, I already blew my money on Starfield and didn't enjoy it. I have a sad feeling that when Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 comes out, somehow we're going to find out that one of these companies got their hooks into that and it's going to suck. But I can't do anything about that. I've already spent the money. I can't get it back. So I literally just have to bite the bullet and deal with whatever comes. I mean, and I'm still trying to justify playing my way through Starfield because so far it is a slog. I mean, Caster, I shit you not. It is fucking boring.
What the? Oh, I want to pull this up just to have the brief, just to pull this up briefly, just to show something that I think Dash Attack was made a video about tonight.
Okay,
and that's for just this new Star Wars game, the editions.
129 Ultimate Edition. Okay, that's kind of normal. But you get the Kessel Runner bonus pack, 3 days early access. Okay, we already know that early access isn't worth a shit.
No.
Because half the times you pay for early access and what you get is either something that is unworkable or you end up blowing your first day because shit don't work. Season Pass, that's pretty standard. The Rogue Infiltrator bundle and Sabak Shark bundle.
Cosmetic,
yeah,
digital art book. And the Season Pass is a mission and a skin pack, some cosmetics.
Well, that's about typical though for an ultimate pre-order though.
No, not for $130.
That's about standard. And with them saying that, you know, games are about to be $80 a piece, I hope that the game that you get for $80 is equal to the gold edition every time, but I doubt it.
$80? I thought the discussion was we're just getting the $70.
Oh no, 80.
So in other words, I'll just wait for it to go on a steep discount for about $20.
Hey, that's what Steam sales are good for.
Well, except this one isn't even going on Steam.
Oh, yeah. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of that too. A lot of service providers that are only doing on their own stuff, like Ubisoft, only doing their own stuff on their own platform. Although I have noticed that a lot of Ubisoft titles are now migrating to Steam.
Yep. Yeah, because it turns out that those it's easier to sell it on a website where you on a platform with the actual people.
Amazing, isn't it? You know, and hey, Gabe Newell, $5.1 billion.
He's doing good.
He's doing good.
I can't get too mad at him.
Nope. I can't get upset at the guy. He's living the nerd's dream. I mean, he's pretty much a hermit. I don't know. I bet he probably doesn't spend his money on very much.
Well, especially when he could buy everything at a steep discount at a Steam summer sale.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't have to buy anything if he wants to play it. I mean, it's in his company. All he's got to do is gift it to himself. I mean, it's not going to hurt his company. But yeah, I think we're going to see a great shift of indie games, a great wave of indie games suddenly making all the hits. I think Pal World was definitely probably the first blow in that.
Well, then you look at not what's the big game right now? Helldivers.
Yeah, Helldivers 2. Yeah, and that ain't even a full. What is Helldivers 2 going for? I keep meaning to buy it, but Helldivers 2, $39.99.
Yeah, but I think actually even like right when it first launched, it was like $35.
Yeah. If you want to get the Super Citizen bundle, it's $59.99, but still that's
which by the way, if you've not played this is a lot of fun because it is basically just Starship Troopers the game.
Mm-hmm.
Except we're not gonna pretend that like we suddenly know what fascism is because Paul Verhoeven had no fucking clue what he was talking about when he did that. Because the world of his Starship Troopers from his movie is like the uber libertarian dream.
Yeah, it kind of is. But I don't know. He's Dutch. We know how they are.
Yeah.
No
clip. Said what? No clip.
Oh, okay, fine. He's not here, so he won't be offended. Do I even still have that? Yeah, I do.
The Dutch are scum.
And by the way, just because I didn't get a chance, and just as once again, congratulations to Victor on his success.
Yeah, dude got so much money for that Kickstarter. I still want to get a loan from him just so I can pay off all my debts. And I'd rather owe Victor than credit card companies. But it is what it is. Oh, just a passerby, you'll be offended on for Victor on his behalf. Okay. That's cool. You're Dutch too. I forgot.
We won't hold it against you.
Yeah. One game I keep sleeping on, and I keep wondering whether or not it is a mistake because I keep hearing so many good things about it. And I keep sleeping on it, and I keep sleeping on it, and I keep sleeping on it because I keep waiting for the Ultimate Edition to come down in price. And so far, every Steam sale, it doesn't. And I guess Capcom's going to stick to their guns on it, is Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Oh.
I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and buy the Ultimate Edition and just, because it ain't coming down.
Except, of course, you realize, like, the week after you buy it is when it'll go on sale.
Yeah. I'll wait for the summer sale and see if it drops then, but I don't know. Oh, and I can say one thing about Tekken 8, and this is unfortunate news. I wish I didn't have to say this, but they did release Eddie Gordo as a playable character, as part of the DLC. However, he does not have a character story.
So is he like the first DLC character?
He is. He's the first add-on character that they have dropped for the game. Highly anticipated because everybody likes him. They like his capoeira moveset. He became like a favorite of a lot of people from Tekken 3. And if not him, Christy Monteiro, who is his capoeira counterpart, has been in every Tekken game up until now, where he has been released as a DLC extra character. And yeah, he has no character story. He's not involved in the main story at all. All he is an extra character you can play in arcade battles and that sort of thing. But if you're looking for a story link, it's not there. And that grieves me immensely because I was hoping that when they dropped the DLC characters, they would also drop in a story link to kind of connect them to the Tekken 8 plot. Like, what have these guys been doing? How are they connected to the tournament? Or were they connected to the tournament? Or what happened to them to where they weren't in the main story? But that is not the case. So, Harada, you have let me down, motherfucker.
Well, then I suppose we could always just hope for what the new King of Fighters to be good at least. Or what was the other one from
King of Fighters been out for a while now.
Wasn't there one other fighter coming? Used to be a Neo Geo title.
Oh, the Wolves.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know when that's dropping. Pretty soon. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I'm hoping it's good. I know me and Crafty Matt are excited about it. So, but we like fighting games. So, I don't know what to say. I'm deeply disappointed with this choice from Namco. I mean, I think Tekken 8 hit a lot of really good marks for a Tekken game. It's not the best Tekken game in the entire series. You know, I'm not going to lie and tell you that. It is a good Tekken installment. Certainly, I've enjoyed it. The story is really pretty good. It has a lot of, kickback beats, and the fact that every character who was released in the original game has a story mode or has a story arc in the game is wonderful, which is why this hurts me so much that the DLC characters do not have a story. I mean, Soul Calibur, the last Soul Calibur that they released, all the DLC characters had a story mode linked in that you could play through and enjoy and see where they connected to the rest of the world. But
And shit, you could play as 2B in that.
yeah, and Geralt, but yeah, 2B. Oof, 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 oof. So yeah, I'm deeply disappointed. But you know how Namco could make it up to me? They need to do something that they have already done with Soul Calibur, and that they apparently Capcom has already figured out. They need to introduce a custom character that you can build completely from the ground up any way you want to, with whatever fighting style you want. That would be how you would make it up to me. But I doubt they're going to do that. I don't know. All I can say is, yeah, if the rest of the DLC characters, and it looks like there's going to be 6 of them, looks like, I don't know how many are going to be, how long they're going to milk the franchise for, or how many years they're going to milk this one title. I'm going to say at least 6. But yeah, none of the released characters are going to have story add-ons. You know which characters do have story add-ons, though? The ones in Street Fighter 6. Yeah, all those characters have story add-ons. They have a reason for being there. They have a connection to the world. They have, there's something that links them there. But not Tekken 8. Because I guess Harada couldn't do it. Thanks, Harada. Appreciate you. All right, we're way over time. I'm actually surprised. You didn't think we would get that much mileage tonight, but when we get on a roll...
Well, you know how it is. Sometimes it's like you never quite know which way the winds are going to blow and how things are going to play out. Sometimes you think like, oh, there's no way I could make this topic work. And then, next thing you know, we have like about 40 minutes where we're talking about, I don't know, RoboCop statues and whatever else we can kind of
Detroit.
across.
Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about our format on Week in Geek. I don't plan, or I plan very little. I'm like, look, here's some topics we can hit. Let's just hit what we can and go. Because way back when I first started this thing, I tried to arrange topics that we would hit at certain beats and keep the show moving, but I always found out that having a more natural conversation with conversation starters works way better. So we don't plan these things. We just roll them. But in the meantime, if you're out there watching this in YouTube land, thank you for hanging out with us for almost 2 hours. Didn't mean to go this long, but yeah, we got a little bit ranty.
And I didn't get to show off my new book.
Decepticon Directive. Nice.
So we get to play the bad guys. But
Starscream, you idiot.
Starscream, you failed me for the last time.
But Megatron!
Wait, I still function.
Wanna bet?
Starscream!
Love that movie.
Okay.
Love that movie. I don't know how Frank Welker does it. I mean, that dude has vocal cords made out of leather. Speaking of which, okay, I do want to end the show, but I did want to add this really, really quick. Since I did, check you out. You got the nice version. I just got the regular version.
This one?
No, I got the, standard Blu-ray regular copy. Nothing frills.
I have that one laying around too.
Yeah. I said like last week, I think that I finally caught up on Invincible, and I was very happy that Peter Cullen was in it. And
Said was he now?
yeah, Peter Cullen is in the second season. I'm not going to say which character. You'll have to watch it yourself. But
So I'm never gonna find out.
I guess I didn't know you didn't like the movie, but
Oh no,
or the
Invincible.
show Invincible. Yeah.
I just
But any.
not gonna watch. I'm just not gonna watch Invincible.
Oh, okay. Well, suit yourself. You better watch Fallout though. Yeah, it was kind of funny because my mother of all people caught me watching Invincible season 2, and she heard Peter Cullen's voice, and she was like, "Who is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's Peter Cullen." I said, "That's the voice of Optimus Prime. It's the voice of Venger." And I mean, she doesn't know who those characters are, but I explained it, and I told her, I said,
he's the voice of Avenger Satanus.
"No."
Oh.
But Venger wishes, I'm sure. But I told her, I said, yeah, he's also like in his 80s. So I said, when he dies, you're going to see a great outpouring of sorrow from all of the nerds out there. All the Transformers nerds, all the Dungeons and Dragons nerds, all the nerds in general who recognize that kindly, deep voice of Optimus Prime. You know it.
You want to go one step further with it as well. Frank Welker.
Yeah, Frank Welker will also be a massive blow. So will James Earl Jones. And James Earl Jones is older than both of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, that might finally get the Lucasfilm social media to finally acknowledge he exists.
Fuck those guys. Incidentally, I did see the footage of Gene Hackman at 93 that's being run around on the internet right now, and my gosh, he doesn't even look like what I remember. But age does catch up with us all.
Speaking real quick of catching up, did you happen to catch the Esoteric Order of Nerdity in the chat?
I saw that, yes. Nerdity, you know where you can get a hold of me. So
I just want to make sure we got that before we call here.
Yep. Yeah, you know where you can get a hold of me, Nerdity. My DMs are open, so it's up to you. I mean, if you want to make it, you can, but I think all the characters, all the pre-gens are already taken up, but I could always put something together for you, I guess.
Make him a K-pop character.
A rocker boy?
Yeah, a K-pop rocker boy.
Yeah, I could always hand him your old character since you're not ever coming back.
That might kind of be true.
You and your other commitments on Sundays.
I'm like, well, I got a 5e game, I got a Transformers game, so they just eat up the Sundays.
Yeah, I know. Sundays are hard. But anyway, be sure to catch us on Saturday, though, where we'll be back with Grim and everybody else, hopefully, and we'll have a great time. And I'm hoping that Ginger will be with us on Saturday, so that we can get the after action report on the Dungeon Delver game. So,
and while we're at it, maybe we'll cover the Lego D&D adventure.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we'll see what kind of fuckery WotC gets up to between now and then. But until then, y'all take care and have a great week in Geek.
Bye.